Hi, welcome to episode 118 of the PassionKnit Spinner podcast. My name is Tracy. You can find me as Schnüffeltier on Ravelry and Instagram. There is a Ravelry group for the podcast. Please come over and join. And thank you so much for being here. I don't know, this intro always gets me out of breath, and I don't know why. Maybe because it sounds so rehearsed. Who knows? But I say the same thing every week. I just don't know what else to say, because I am happy that you're here and I want to introduce myself and tell you to come to the Ravelry group. So, yeah. Now, if the rest of the podcast goes on like this, it's going to be a long and rambly one. Happens. Okay. What I'm wearing today is also my knitting in the past. It is the Palette Cleanser by Susanne Sommer. I did not bring the pattern, but I think I don't have to, because I have a finished sweater. I knit this out of my handspun yarn. I'm gonna get up and show you. So this is it. It is a cropped sweater. It looks like this. It looks the exact same from the back, so I'm not gonna turn around. It is perfect for the holly bun skirts. I did the bottom hem a lot longer than the pattern suggests. Apart from that, I'm gonna talk you through the few things I changed. So, like I said, I used my hand spun. This sweater is knit from this brown stripe here is the middle. So it's knit outwards. The inner yarn here is Fiber Fancy. It is a BFL, and I had two of these. I had two braids that I spun up and then plied, and they are, the center of the sweater. Then the next one was hand dyed by my friend Barbara from Almrausch Wolle. And I don't know what it is. No idea. The first yarn, I have this much left. From the second, I had that much left. And the green, I have quite a bit left. This was spun long draw from Rolex from fondant fiber. And it was significantly thinner than the other yarns. But in the finished sweater, I think you can't really tell. So what I did, I knit size small. I'm not a size small. I usually need a medium or a large. For this, I knit a small because I didn't want it to have a gigantic amount of positive ease, because I do like the look of positive ease, but if I want to wear a sweater with the holly bun skirt, that it's a flared skirt, I think if I have something that has too much positive ease, it just looks like a sack all the way down. So I did it not as wide as the pattern tells you. So I did size small, which is, in the end was a good decision because it is still quite oversized. My body stops around here somewhere. So the problem that I had was the sleeves. These sleeves are very tight. They are really tight. I cannot scrunch them up, which I usually do with my sweaters because I get so hot. I can't do it with this sweater because I cannot put them anywhere. I'm glad that I get my arms in, but that's the end of it. And I already decreased less stitches than a pattern called for because, of course, I used handspun. My gauge was a bit different, and so yeah, I should have decreased down 6 more stitches than I actually did, and I'm glad that I didn't decrease those down because these sleeves are quite tight. So the other thing I changed on the sleeves here was the ribbing, because the pattern tells you to do a 2x2 rib on the sleeves, and I didn't do that because I did a 3x2 rib, which is the exact same rib that it calls for at the bottom of the sweater, and I wanted to have those ribbings match. Also, you have these, this column that goes all the way down, and I wanted it to just blend into the ribbing of the sleeve. So I made that work. And it worked with my 3x2 rib perfectly. The other thing I changed was the bottom rib, because that was supposed to be only this long, instead of this long. So I made it way, way, way longer. Also, when you do the neckline, the pattern tells you to do an I-cord, which I did, And then I decided to do I-cord everywhere. So I did I-cord at the bottom hem, an I-cord bind off, and on the sleeves, just to make it match and to have everything, you know, look like it is meant to be. That's what I changed with this sweater. Apart from that, I did what the pattern calls for, and it's amazing. And I have planned a second one, and I wanted to show you the yarn, but I forgot it's over there, and I'm not going to get it. So I want to knit a second version that's going to be very different from this one, because, you know, if you knit a sweater twice, you might as well make it very different. So yes, this is it. First sweater of the year and out of handspun, which is always a good thing because I love handspun so much. And you know, these were single skeins. That was a single skein, that was a single skein. I had 2 of these and they are just perfect. I think the colors are just amazing together. I'm really, really, really happy with this sweater. I knit the sweater on US 6 and 8s. That's 4 and 5 millimeter needles. And I have every leftover bit in here. I have to, you know, put it away. So that is my knitting in the past. For knitting in the present, I have 3 things, 2 of which you've already seen. I'm going to start with the Ingalls by Caitlin Hunter, because I am furthest along on that one. So let's show a picture. This is the Ingalls sweater. It is by Caitlin Hunter. It's amazing. I am knitting size small, I think, again, because this calls for lots and lots of ease, as you can see on her. And I decided that I didn't want that much ease. I still wanted ease, but not super much ease. So I knit the size small, which should give me a circumference of roughly 49 inches around the bust. And I have a 38-inch bust. So, you know, that's still a lot of positive ease. So I knit size small. I am using Wollmeise DK. And for the color work, I use Kunterbunte Wolle. So I just finished yesterday evening the actual body. I just need to knit the hem. And I also finished the first skein of my Wollmeise yarn. So now I still have this much left of the second skein. And I'm not sure if I should wind the third skein and knit the sleeves, you know, alternating skeins, or just use this one skein and see how far I get. Because I really think that this yarn is very, you know, it doesn't really change all that much in this between the 2 skeins. So it looks very one colored. But yes, like I said, the body is almost done. I just need to do the ribbing. It does roll a bit, so it's a bit longer than it looks right now. It does have some shorter of shaping, but not a lot. So I'm not quite sure if that is enough to make it really make a difference with it, you know, but I did it. So yeah, I'm ready for the ribbing. And then come the sleeves. I'm also going to rewind this skein of yarn because Wollmeise DK is a 200 gram skein and it's a gigantic skein of yarn in the beginning, but it's not anymore. And I don't want to get a tangled mess. So yes, this is what it's going to look like. I think this is going to be really nice, you know. The colorwork yarn, you can't really tell, is speckled and it glitters, but I hope to be able to show that off, you know, in pictures when it's finished. I'm pretty sure that this will be my next finished sweater because, you know, it just needs a hem and some sleeves, and sleeves are potato chip knitting. No, they're not potato chip knitting because potato chip knitting means you cannot stop, right? They are super brainless and easy, so they will get done soon. I love this sweater. What can I say about this? I'm knitting it on US 6s, 4 millimeters. And the Wollmeise DK yarn is amazing. I love this. So this is just a all-around enjoyable project. So that's the Ingalls by Caitlin Hunter. Then I have the Sode cardigan by Hiroko Payne. I'm still working on it, and I found time finally this week to get a few rows in. The cables get less and less because I'm working on the outro charts right now. So it's, you know, easier and easier to knit. And when I'm done with the body of this sweater, the rest is gonna be super simple to knit because there is a sleeve on the there's a sleeve. There is two sleeves actually. There's a cable on the sleeves. That's so easy that you don't have to think about it. So when the body is finished, this is going to be an easy, quick knit for the rest of the thing. So I am using this yarn. And yes, my skein winery and me, we still don't get along. This is Rowan Fine Art Aran Weight. And I am, like I said, on the outro chart. You can see at the bottom of the sweater that I have almost all ribbing and no cables. And here is a started pocket. And also the cable pattern is almost finished. So a few more rows and this is going to be super easy. I'm knitting size medium because I was a bit short on yarn for size large. In hindsight, I kind of like having it the shorter version, but I also would have loved to have it longer. So the thing is, this sweater for sizes extra small, small, and medium has the back repeat to do, has you do the back pattern repeat twice. For a size larger and up, you have to do it 3 times. So, you know, it gets significantly longer. Now, I thought about this the other day. I would have loved to have it long for wearing with jeans, but with a holly bun skirt that is flared, putting a long coat on top of it that will, you know, smush it down, it will look kind of weird. So I think for my skirt aesthetic that I enjoy, the length of this cardigan will be perfect because I think this will go to my hip bone, and which is long enough for a cardigan, you know. But I also think I'm going to have lots of yarn left because I'm still, you know, I'm not that far away from finishing the body. I'm going to say I have like that much more to go. And this is skein number 4. So I had 10 skeins to begin with. So I will not run out of yarn, which is good. And I just love this. It is so pretty. So pretty. I'm going to try to show you everything so you can see it in all its glory. It is so pretty. I love cables so much. So yes, whenever I have time, you know, and not only time, but I have the house to myself, which is a very important factor in knitting on this cardigan for me. I work on it because, I mean, now it's going to get easier and I'm probably going to be able to work on it with Tim around. But so far, with all the different charts and having to take care of everything, I just wanted to work on this when I was alone. Okay, let me put this back. And put this in here as well. Where did I put my pattern? Here. So, these 2 sweaters. And then I started a new sweater because I was in the mood for a new sweater after I finished this one. It is in my basket from my friend Cleo. And I started the Retro Pullover, which is a pattern by Nora Gone. And it looks like this. This is the pattern. I have changed it up a little bit because the original pattern is knit in pieces and sewn. But as you do stripes, and sewing up stripes so it looks perfect in the end is a bitch, I decided to not do that, but knit in the round instead. So that's what I did. I converted it to knit in round. I finished the 3 inches of bottom rib in this beautiful hand-dyed charcoaly gray. And I have marked where the patterning goes, and then, you know, I can start the actual pattern next. I'm knitting it on Knit Picks needles that my friend Sadie ordered for me, and I got the, you know, 3 colored interchangeable sets. So these tips are the Majestics, and this is a 4mm so far for the rib. And the actual sweater I'm going to knit on a 5mm needle, although I'm not quite sure. I think I'm gonna go for a 4.5 instead. You know, a US 6 for the ribbing and a 7 for the sweater instead of 6 and 8. I think the 8 is a bit too big. I'm gonna leave that here because I have to change it. The other skeins of yarn that I have for this sweater is these 2 skeins of black, then 1 more full skein of the hand-dyed yarn, Then I have this light gray, 2 skeins. It's Regia 8 ply. And I have 3 skeins of this Merino Plus from Wolle Rödel. And I'm going to use the yellow at the top for the solid bit at the top. And I'm going to use all 4 of these yarns for the stripes. And I'm going to do random stripes. I don't want to have 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. I'm just going to do them random because I think that that will look amazing. We will find out. But yeah, I'm very excited about this. And this feels great. And actually, I really don't mind knitting ribbing, which is a good thing because the Sode cardigan has a collar that's like this wide in 2 by 2 rib all the way around. So that's going to take a bit. But like I said, I really don't mind knitting ribbing. It's great for TV knitting. So my new started sweater, retro pullover. Also, I wanted to start a new sweater because this is purple. Yeah, it has green, but it is mainly purple. The Sode cardigan is a purple-ish pink color. The Ingalls is purple. It is very dark, but it is a purple. So I just needed to have a color break with my sweater knitting. Good. So you go back. That's it for knitting in the present. For knitting in the future, I have 3 things that I really want to cast on. I still want to cast on the Spectre sweater by Joji Locatelli. I have everything ready to go. I just kind of want to finish the Ingalls first. Then I put together all the yarn that I need and the pattern for the Pierre shawl by Stephen West. And I'm going to start that one next week because Linda and Stephen are going to do a knit along for his Hyper Knitting collection that I already ordered. I'm waiting for the book. And you can also knit the Bubbles sweater, which I love, or the Pierre shawl. And as I had already put together all the yarn for the Pierre shawl, I'm going to knit that one for the knit along first. And then we will see if I have enough time to make a second project. So the pattern I have here. Now, let me see if there is a picture that shows off this thing. Yes, here it is. So this is the shawl we're talking about. He used 4 skeins of DK weight yarn in a gradient. I'm going to do it different because I want to use yarn that I have. And I decided on doing it in brown and a bit of gray. Maybe I can get rid of the gray. And all alpaca. And I'm not going to do a gradient. I'm just going to do different yarn for the different texture patterns. So the first thing I have is this they're all leftovers and some full skeins. I have this leftover of a Rowan yarn that I have no idea what it is called, but it is 100% alpaca. And these are all roughly DK weight. Then I have this leftover from my cardigan that I knit a few years ago, and it is Schoppelwolle Alpaca Naturbelassen. That is like a felted single. Then I have this leftover from a hat that I knit for my husband, I think. Not quite sure, but it is alpaca. Then this is definitely left over from a hat that I knit for my husband. And I think I received this either in a swap or my husband bought it in America. Another alpaca. Then I have, oh, this is more from the Schoppel alpaca yarn. Because I bought this yarn at the Schoppel store. And they were like, you know, what is the word? Zweite Wahl. They were like not, the quality wasn't good enough to be sold regularly. So I got these a bit cheaper, and this is significantly thinner than this one is. And I knit my cardigan with the thicker skeins because I had lots of these and just one thin one. So this will go in the shawl, and this is a backup. And then I have these 2 leftovers that are also left over from a hat that I knit for my husband. I knit him a hat with these 2 yarns a while ago. So, and this is also pure alpaca. And then I have also, as a kind of if I need it, a skein of Morris & Sons alpaca from Australia that my husband bought when he was for work over in Australia. So for sure for this shawl, I'm going to use these because they are all brown and alpaca. And my backup are, you know, more of this. this gray skein, and I received something in the mail this week that will go right into this after I showed it to you. So I'm going to knit the Pierre shawl out of leftovers in 100% alpaca in brown. And I'm very excited. I really wanted to start it already, but I told Linda, I'm going to start my next West Knits pattern. She said, yeah, you just wait a bit and, you know, decide then if you want to start right away. And I waited and I saw the announcement. I said, okay, I'm going to wait. I'm going to knit this for her knit along. So that's knitting in the future. And then the other day, I was looking through Instagram and I stumbled across a picture. I was like, oh. And I looked at the picture and it said pattern coming next week. And I got the pattern. I'm going to show it to you in a second. Do you know the feeling when you see a project and you just have to start right away? You have to get started. Well, for me, that is this sweater here. It is called Joe Bat's Arm. It is a pattern by Jennifer Beal. And it looks like this. It is a cabled sweater with colorwork bits and pieces. There's a colorwork collar. And also, you cannot really tell in the picture. I'm going to try to find a different picture in here because it has the colorwork go over here and all the way to the bottom. And this is just so, so, so pretty. You can see it a bit here. Can you see? This is just, wow. So I bought the pattern right when it came out. And then I looked at it and I saw how much yardage I needed and I was like, shit. I don't have that much yardage in colors that I would like. So I looked at Ravelry to check if there were test knitters and see what yarns they used, because she used hand-dyed yarn. And although I would love to buy, 8 skeins of hand-dyed yarn for the main color and another 3 for the contrast colors, that's just, I can't afford that right now. It's that simple because I already blew my budget on all the things I'm going to show you later. Because it's my birthday month and I kind of went a bit overboard with my buying, and I showed some last week and I'm going to show some this week. So what I did instead, I ordered Drops Lima yarn for it because 2 of her testers used that yarn. And I also got a golden yellow for the main color. And then instead of, blue and gray that she used, I ordered a ruby red and pistachio green, a light brown, and a gray. So I can, decide for the one yarn that you just need a smidge of what color I liked best. And the yarn I'm not going to use for the sweater, I'm going to knit a hat for Tim. So, I'm not wasting stuff. But this sweater needs to happen. As soon as my yarn arrives, I'm going to get started. But I want to finish the Sode body first. That's important for me. But this pattern's just, it blew my mind. I have to knit this. Now, spinning. I have tons of spinning to show to you. Really, I have lots of spinning to show to you. I showed the yellow bobbins last week and I plied it. I spun the singles on my Luette S45 and I plied the yarn on my mini spinner. So this is the first skein of yarn. This is the yellow I showed last week. I ended up with 351 meters. That's 384 yards for 192 grams. So it's a DK weight. So between a DK and worsted. And it's gorgeous. It is so pretty and very sparkly. I'm not sure if you can tell, but it is so gorgeous. So that is the first finished skein for the blanket project that I'm spinning yarn for right now. And all the yarn for the blanket project is hand dyed by my friend Barbara. So this was the first skein. And this is the second. That's the reddish one. So for the red one, I also had 2 braids that I plied together. So this is 331 meters. That's 362 yards, 188 grams. And I took pictures, but the pictures just don't do this justice because this is so, so beautiful. And also the video doesn't really show you how amazing this is. Especially because it's not focusing, of course. But it is just beautiful. So these two for the blanket project are done. And then I decided I was upstairs and I wanted to spin because I had a free weekend and I did a lot of spinning then. And I spun bats that I carded a while ago. And I spun them on my Michi von Schwarzenstein, which is a German-produced handmade wheel, and it is an amazing wheel. So this was 4 little bats that I made on my own little drum carder. And it's not a lot, you know. It's 118 meters, that's 129 yards and 71 grams. And it's really a worsted weight. It turned out quite thick, but I made these at a knitting meetup to show how yarn was made, you know. We had different stations and this was my station, drum carding, and I have absolutely no idea what to do with it. But, you know, the right project will come along someday. So back to the blanket project. These two are finished and I am now, where did I put it? Oh, here. I'm now working on the green. So for the green, I had 3 braids. So what I did for that one was not a just ply together, but I'm doing an actual combo spin where I put, you know, pull apart stuff and spin it up. And I am currently spinning the 3rd bobbin of 4. So I have these 2 finished. One of them was already finished. One of them I spun this week. The 3rd one is on the wheel right now. And I'm like 2/3 done. And this is the fiber for the last 1/3. So I had, like I said, 3 different braids. This here, I think, is a superwash merino. So this is one of the 3rds. Just normal superwash merino. The second one is this one here, and I'm not sure if it is silk or soy or whatever that's going through. And this is the 3rd one, which is Corriedale, I think, with super bright nylon. This is super glitzy stuff. So yeah, I want to finish spinning these last 2 bobbins and then ply it all together and make a gigantic green skein of it because the mini spinner holds a lot. So this is going to become a blanket someday. Now I'm thinking about, you know, I would love to have this as a cardigan as well, but I think honestly that this green paired with these is too much for me for a cardigan. I don't know yet. So I really want to make a blanket because with a blanket, I would, you know, use it all the time because I would put it up in my reading room where I sit in it in the evenings and just use it there, you know, as a lap blanket. So I don't know yet, but that's the original plan. So where did I put you now? Over here. Good. Tons of spinning. And I'm really happy about that. So 3 skeins this week. It's not going to be 3 skeins next week, but hopefully the green will be done next week. So new stuff. I said already that I have a lot of new stuff because it's my birthday month, and you know, when it's your birthday, you buy stuff. So first things first, I ordered yarn in the end of year appreciation sales from people. I'm still waiting for one of my parcels, but one of them arrived, and I ordered a gradient set from Northbound Knitting. She's in Canada, and this was on sale, like I said, and was really not expensive. And it's just a gradient from a golden yellow over to a rusty orange to a brown to a brownish gray and a gray. It's DK weight. It's going to become a sweater of some sort. Sweater or cardigan, I don't know. But I'm going to have the yellow at my face and go the way down. Which, you know, color-wise isn't smart because you always should have the darkest color will draw the eyes of the person looking at you to it. So as my hips are quite wide and I sometimes struggle with that, for that standpoint of view, it would be smart to do it like this. So, you know, the person's eyes are drawn to this bit of my body instead of the other way around, but I really like this yellow next to my face. So, and honestly, I don't care about what people think about my butt, or I'm learning to not care about that. So that was that, Northbound Knitting. Then I received my first shipment of my new, new, I have it for the third time now, Hedgehog Potluck Club. And I'm really happy with it, but I received a skein of mohair, and I'm not sure if I can use it and if I like it or not. So let's show the other skeins first. I received this skein of her sock yarn, and I love this one. This one is just gorgeous. Then I received a skein of Merino DK, and I also love it. Now it's bright yellow with obnoxiously bright speckles. And then a skein of the Kid Silk lace. And I held it to my neck, you know, and it doesn't seem to bother me. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I can use it. I just don't know, you know. I probably will knit it up into something, try if I can use that something. And if I can, I'm gonna be, yay, I can use mohair. And if I can't, I'm gonna give it to someone else. So I just had a peek in this, and there's lots of color hidden. So yeah, they are all potluck skeins. So there are unrepeatable one-off things. So my Hedgehog Club, and you know, for potluck skein club, it's just perfect because I got 3 different bases, very different colors. So I'm very happy with it, you know. And like I said, this mohair does not bother me at all. And I've had mohair in my hands that was, you know, gave me hives when I just looked at it, but this one here, it's not irritating me. If it ends up irritating me, I'm gonna give it to someone who will love it, because I do have friends who like mohair. So that's the potluck club. I also keep these clubs in these Ziplocs because that way I can just easily, you know, put it into my stash and keep it animal free. So last thing that I ordered that I received, not the last thing that I got to show. Last thing that I ordered. I showed last time, or 2 times, I think it was last time, my swap parcel with Leanne from New Zealand. And she had sent me this beautiful skein of sock yarn from Vintage Pearls. And I told you that I loved it so much that I ordered 5 more skeins, and they already arrived. They are in super crinkly paper. I'm not going to take them out. Here they are. 5 more skeins of this amazingly beautiful yarn. This color is just it's gorgeous. And the best thing is, her hand-dyed colors, her hand-dyed yarns have dye lots, and the 5 skeins I ordered and the 1 skein I received are the same dye lot. So I can just, you know, use these and be happy. And they will be used for a gigantic cabled sweater from Michelle Wong. I already decided on the pattern. So yeah. Now, last thing that I received in the mail was a swap parcel from Kylie. And Kylie lives in the Netherlands. And she sent me, first of all, this amazing tote, which is beautiful. And it was filled with all the wonderful things. So, first off, can you see? A skein of brown alpaca yarn. This is already planned for. It will go into my Pierre shawl. But she also sent 2 more skeins. So she sent me these 3 skeins of alpaca yarn. These 2 I will use for something for myself. This one will go into this project bag right now. Because, you know, it's the same weight, and it is brown, and it is alpaca. So it's meant to be. Good. Then she sent me 2 skeins of sock yarn from Grundl. That's this one here. Some hand-dyed Corriedale from herself. She dyed it. I'm going to spin this probably after my blanket yarn is finished. Then a box of Earl Grey tea, which is very, very nice because I can only drink Earl Grey or, you know, just black Assam or Darjeeling or breakfast tea, or like peppermint tea, and you know, not non-mixed teas. I can't do stuff that's mixed or has spices in. I cannot drink chai tea, for instance. It almost kills me. Then she put in stroopwafels, which I'm very excited for because I love these. They are a very Dutch thing. And the reason why we actually did a swap is this here. It's a set of 6.5mm DPNs that I was looking for like a crazy woman when I knit my carbeth. And as I want to knit another carbeth or carbeth cardigan, I'm going to need another set of 6.5mm needles. And I had to do the sleeves for that magic loop. And because of that, that sweater lingered forever. Now I have DPNs in this size and I can knit it. Then there's stitch markers and tape measure, which is a very good thing because my tape measures always disappear on me. I have no idea where they are. There must be a black hole in my house filled with tape measures. And it is not Tim. I know that for sure. So he is not the stealer. The stealer? No, it's not a stealer. The thief. He's not the thief. I like stealer. That's a good word. He didn't steal it. So this is my swap parcel from Kylie, and it is gorgeous. And like I said, the brown alpaca is just perfect because I can use it right away. So thank you so much, Kylie. Good. Now, reading, listening, watching. Let me put that back. I finished the Literally Gone by Erin Scott. It is a book in the Pepper Brooks Cozy Mystery series, and I took a screenshot of the cover of the book because because I'm reading it on my Kindle and I still wanted to be able to show you something. So I took pictures somewhere it is. Oh, please. I have way too many pictures on my phone. There we go. So, Literally Gone. That's the book that I just finished. It is the third book in the Pepper Brooks Cozy Mystery series. There are currently 4 books in this series, and I'm reading book number 4 right now. Literally Gone, it is about Jane Austen. There's a Jane Austen festival going on in her hometown, and there, is a murder. And she, again, is the person to find the body because she kind of has that's the actual problem with her, she finds the body. I'm not going to tell you any more about it because, these cozy mysteries have like 160 pages. So there is not a lot around that I could tell you. So I finished that one. And then I started book number 4, which is Literally Oft. And this time her circle of friends and her boyfriend and they go camping. And while they are camping, they find a dead body. And the local police doesn't want to investigate because they just want to, make it be an animal attack and be done with it. But as she, puts it so nicely, animals don't slit throats with knives. So, yeah, they are investigating, of course. And it has another connection to a literary great from the past. So I'm not going to tell you who it is because I actually have no idea who it is. I mean, I do know who it is because it says in the book, but I don't know who that person is. So I might have heard of him before, but I've definitely never read anything by him. So yeah, I'm reading that. I'm halfway through. It's still very enjoyable. She's not one of those cozy mystery people that happens to, be wonderful in the first book and then just turn into an idiot for the rest. She still is very likable. And I just really like her and the books. So that's what I'm reading. I finished listening to Harry Potter 5. That's the Order of the Phoenix. And I just started the Half-Blood Prince earlier today, actually. And then for watching, I watched Bones season 1 and started season 2. I have watched Bones before. The first 4 or 5 seasons. And then I kind of stopped because there were other things that I wanted to see. And then a friend of mine on Instagram is doing the, get rid of stuff, get rid of something every day in the month of January. And she got rid of all of her Bones DVDs. And I said, you know what? I really want to watch Bones again. And it is on Amazon Prime here in Germany, the first 8 seasons out of 12, I think. So I'm rewatching those right now. And I mean, I watched them before, but I don't remember a lot. So it's just fun to watch. And I've always enjoyed that series a lot because I just like that there's, there are super smart people involved and they do a lot of smart thinking and not just shooting like in other series. So I enjoy that part of it. So, sewing. I have lots of stuff this week. My mojo is back on all ends of the spectrum. So, for sewing, I'm going to show you the non-fail first. After I knit my son his penguin sweater, he told me that he wanted to have a sweater with a purple plain on it because the purple plain is is a recurring theme here. And I do not know why or how he, got the idea of a purple plain, but he really wants it. So I told him that I would make him a sweater with a purple plain, but I would sew it because it's just quicker. And so I made kind of a prototype to try the pattern and the sizing and everything. And I made this sweater for Tim. I had bought I had bought this fabric in the leftover bin in my local yarn fabric store. So leftover fabric, and it turned out really nice. I used a free pattern from a German indie pattern maker that I don't remember the name of, but the pattern itself is called Frankenprinz. So if you are looking for a sweater pattern, it's the Frankenprinz pattern. And I'm gonna check if it says on the actual pattern because I have it here. No, it doesn't. But the pattern is from a size 62 to 128. That's a German size. And I did 104 because that is what he actually has now. And the length I did 110 because he is very slim and very tall. So that's the first sweater that I made just to try out the pattern, and I tried it on Tim and it fits great. It's a bit long right now, but it will get shorter in time so he can wear this for a bit longer. And then I went to my local fabric shop and I bought gray sweat to make the sweater for his purple plain sweater because I had bought like iron-on patch in purple with a plain on. And so I bought this fabric. It was really expensive, really, really expensive stuff. And I put it in the washer to pre-wash with other fabric and lots of color catchers. And something happened that never happened to me before. And this fabric got really discolored in the first wash. So, it's very expensive fabric that got really discolored. That was the first problem I had with it. So it looks really dirty, although it is fresh. It's fresh out of the wash. And then he helped me pin the pattern. I cut it out and I put it together yesterday while he was in kindergarten. And when I seamed it together and, turned it inside, I was like, this is very stiff. What's going on here? This is sweat. So this sweat for this sweater is not stretchy in width like sweat normally would be, but only in length. Which means that for this sweater, I should have put the pattern pieces, completely against the grain. Because this is also sweat, and this has give in every direction. So I have absolutely no idea what's wrong with this fabric. But I made a sweater and I put on the neckband and he tried to put the sweater on and he couldn't get his head through. So we took off the neckband and decided, as it's, still looked like it's super dirty and it doesn't really have any give in it, we decided to leave all the edges raw as they are. And I got out my IKEA fabric markers and we painted the whole thing. So I'm not a good painter, just to say that. So Tim and I yesterday sat down and painted the sweater. Can you see these blotches here and over here? It's way worse in the back. So I did draw him his purple plain, and he did his drawings down here. I put this flower on the sleeve. Tim drew something on the other sleeve up here. And on the back, here you can really see how awfully blotchy that fabric turned out after washing. Like I said, I'm not very good at drawing. So I put a car and, a nighttime scene on the back. So I have to iron this today so the fabric will stay, the markers will stay on. He can wear it around the house. He can wear it to kindergarten if you want to. But this is a total fail. And we tried to save it best as we could. And the next problem we had was that my fabric markers were so old that they dried out. So we had to tip them into water to be able to use them. But it worked. So yeah, I'm not very happy with this, especially because the fabric was so expensive. But yeah, it happens. So, and I have 2 more things to show for sewing. A week ago or 2, a while ago, after my last podcast, I was looking through Instagram and I saw a picture from, a pattern that just came out from, I think, Art Gallery Fabrics. And I really wanted to try it. And it was, it was supposed to be this super amazing project bag in the end. And I wanted to use fabric that I had. And they cut strips of a specific length and stuff from, just big pieces of fabric. And I wanted to use jelly rolls that I owned. So I tried out this pattern, didn't work at all. And so when I realized that this was a complete fail, I decided to put some of the pieces that I had tried to put together in the way the pattern suggests together, and use all the pieces that I had to cut off to make it work for the second bit. And I made pot holders because I actually need new pot holders, so I'm not that mad. So this was my failed attempt to making this diamond pattern. And I actually don't know what I did wrong. I think I just cut everything wrong, put it wrongly together. I don't know. So this is the first pot holder. I did a normal binding, but I did machine binding, because I'm lazy. I did quilt them in this, windmill pattern. So that's the first one. And this is the second one where I just used all the offcuts and seamed them together until I had not square. Yeah, a square shape. That's the word. So yeah, this is my new set of pot holders. So for these things here were jelly roll. This was a fat quarter. And that fat quarter, that green, is the same range than I used for the background. And the binding is actually leftover binding from the quilts that I made a while ago for my in-laws. So I used that up. And it was the perfect amount for these. So I now have a new set of pot holders because my old ones I made 13 years ago or so, and they are falling apart. They really are. They have burned holes in them and everything. So I can throw them out now because I have new ones. And also I made these quite a bit bigger because, I have very big hands. So I need to have a pot holder that is at least as big as my hand, and the old ones weren't. So new set of pot holders. I'm really happy with them. I did have the thermolam that's inside for, you have to use a thermo fleece for pot holders so they will not burn. And I had that. So new set of pot holders. I'm quite happy with it actually, because I do have project bags, lots of them, and I want to make more, but I really needed pot holders, and I wouldn't just have sat down and said to myself, you know what, I'm going to make pot holders today. It wouldn't have happened, but happy accident. So that's my sewing for the week. Now, everything else. The next VKN will be on the 9th of February. I know that's a long time in between because the last one was on the 12th of January. We normally do it every other week, but this Saturday, where we should have had the VKN, is my birthday. So I'm not going to do that. And then I said we're just going to do it a week later. And I can't do it a week later because I'm going to have a friend come to my house on this day and stay for a week. And also I'm invited to a birthday party on that evening. So yeah, it's too much stuff going on. So we're going to do it on the 9th, which is where I'm going to be alone again and no other appointments. So 9th of February, 9 p.m. GMT +1. I hope to be able to podcast before that. I should be, because that's 2.5 weeks, you know. I do this like every 10 days. So I'm going to podcast again before that and will remind you of the VKN that's going to happen. And the last thing is my mental health talk. And for this week, I decided to talk about something because it just came up the other day. So, I was talking to a friend of mine about how I was disappointed by something my sister did. And my friend said to me, you have to stop wanting people or expecting people to react to things or act the same way you would. And that is exactly what I'm doing. Because I would never have reacted to that the way she did. And that is what actually made me mad, because, you know, I'm a very brainy person. And some things I just don't understand. I feel like I am maybe a bit, it's definitely socially awkward, but also sometimes I just don't understand why things are the way they are. And if I don't understand it, I cannot, you know, work with it. And so I just kind of know how I would react and what I would do in certain situations. And I expect everyone to do it like that. And when someone doesn't react like that or in a totally different way, it just throws me off balance totally, because I just don't understand their train of thought. And that is my problem. And I have to stop doing that. It is a stupid thing to do, because everyone is their own person. And I cannot expect others to react in ways or do things the way I would do them. And I think if I manage to ever learn that, my life will be a lot easier, because I will not have expectations in people that they will never be able to reach, because they are not me, they are them. And that's the important bit for me to just realize, you know, and not, I mean, I do know that everyone is an individual and everyone has their own thoughts, and, you know, I'm not stupid, but I just have a hard time understanding why things happen the way they do. And it actually is just really that I want to understand why people act or react a certain way. And sometimes I just cannot understand it, which is probably my fault and it's my problem. But that is something that really throws me, and I need to learn that. So I hope I will be able to do that. So that's that part. The other thing is the normal health talk, because I started to become healthy this year. I'm still having breakfast every day. Very proud of that. And I went to yoga again. I think I talked about that. No, I don't know. I went to my second yoga class and it was excruciating. I was actually really, really, really done afterwards. It was hard. My next yoga class would be tomorrow and I really wanted to go, but my car broke down. My husband's away with his car, so I cannot go because I can't get there. So yeah, that's a bit of a bummer, but I hope I will be able to go next week. So that's that. I'm still, you know, doing things. And also I realized today that I'm really happy that my scale still doesn't work. You know, it's not broken. It's just the battery died and we didn't change it. And I haven't been able to put my body on a scale in 2 weeks. And I feel so much better. I just really do. Yeah, I really do. I'm not that critical of my body anymore because I cannot see a number, you know, so I just feel, and I do feel good right now. So that's a good thing. I will not change the batteries in my scale. Okay, that is it for this week. I'm going to stop talking because I have nothing else to say. And yeah, I'm just looking around. I've showed everything. I talked about everything. And that's it for this week. I'm going to continue to knit and I'm going to continue to spin. After the fail of my gray sweater, I'm probably going to take a bit of a break from sewing because that's just but apart from that, I'm good. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful time. I will talk to you again in 10 days or so. And until then, enjoy everything you do and don't be too critical of yourselves. Try to be nice to yourself. Bye.